Welcome everyone to the YugabyteDB What's New session. Now I've had a chance to do these What's New sessions at a few different companies across the years, and they're always my favorite sessions to do. There's nothing more exciting and sometimes more challenging than trying to cram a year's worth of innovations into one session, but that's exactly what we're here to try and do today. So as you hopefully guessed from the title of this session, our goal in this session is to give you the crash course on all the new features that came out in YugabyteDB over the past year since the last DSS. Now for those of you that have been religiously reading our blogs, hopefully this will be a little bit of a refresher. And for the rest of you, our goal by the end of the next 25 minutes is to have you up to speed and knowledgeable on all those core features that came out this year, as well as give you a little sneak peek at what's to come down. And so as ways of quick introductions, my name is Michael Haig. I'm head of product and marketing here at Yugabyte. I spent a number of years at VMware prior to joining this team, and before that, spent time lower down the IT stack at networking and then storage for a while. And I'm really excited today to be joined by one of our rockstar product managers, Yogesh. Yogesh, how about we introduce yourself?
Thanks, Mike. Welcome everyone to DSS. My name is Yogesh Mahajan. I lead the database product management here at Yugabyte, mainly responsible for database features and ecosystem. Throughout my career, I led various distributed data products. Prior to Yugabyte, I worked on Gemfire, which is an in-memory distributed database. And within VMware and Pivotal, integrated the Gemfire technology with Cloud Foundry, virtualization, and the Spring framework. Over to you, Mike.
Thanks, Yogesh. So over the next 25 minutes, as I said, I'll start with just a quick look back over the past year, and then I'll bring Yogesh back up to really dig into the details of what's new in YugabyteDB. We'll focus on these 5 product category areas, and then we'll wrap up with the favorite part, looking ahead of what's to come. So let's get going. So this year has absolutely flown by. I can't believe it's September 22 already, but somehow here we are. And as we look back, it's been a huge year for distributed SQL. And we truly believe the beginning this is only the start of this journey towards distributed SQL. So how far have we come? How much has changed in this past year? In general, distributed SQL across the board has seen tremendous growth. One way we can track growth, a great proxy for that is DB Engines. If you're not familiar with dbengines.com, it's a great website that analyzes the 300 plus databases out on the market and ranks them based on features and popularity. And if you look at the top 250 databases over the past year, none have grown faster than YugabyteDB. So this is a tremendous testament to the great number of features we have that we'll talk about, and just the overall market kind of hunger for a new distributed SQL solution and something to address a lot of those pain points a lot of people continue to face with legacy solutions. Another way we look at the momentum are just the number of large industry-leading enterprises that are hopping on to this new momentum of distributed SQL. And thinking about some of the YugabyteDB customers, many of which we'll hear from today, people like Kroger, GM, Wells Fargo, Charles Schwab, Fiserv, and more, will be talking to share their story and look at the journey they've gone on. And again, we continue to see these large enterprises trusting some of their most mission-critical transactional applications to distribute SQL. But with all that growth, the mission, the goal of Yugabyte remains pretty much the same. We're still focusing on helping eliminate all those legacy trade-offs by combining the best of the SQL world, consistency, security, familiarity, with the best of NoSQL, resiliency, scalability, geo-distribution, and then layering that on with that third element of really what it takes to be successful in a cloud-native world. So open source, multi-cloud, hybrid, flexible. Bringing all those things together into YugabyteDB is really our focus and passion. And our engineering team, the community, has been hard at work at doing that over the past year. Since DSS last year, we of course released YugabyteDB Managed, our fully managed cloud offering, and we've had 6 major releases over the course of the year and over 55 minor releases. So we're averaging over more than a release a week to continue again, to evolve, to innovate, and release new features. So with that then, I'm going to bring Yogesh back up to really start to dig into what are the core features behind all of these releases, and what are all those things you now have to look forward to as you start to adopt and grow your Yugabyte usage. Yogesh, over to you.
All right, awesome. So 6 major releases and 52 minor releases. That's very awesome. Thanks, Mike. So folks, let's go through these key highlights and the product enhancements in detail. In Yugabyte, we have product roadmap themes. So what are these product roadmap themes? The first one is dynamic workload optimization, which helps run operational as well as transactional workloads in a single database. The second one is cloud native capabilities, through which you can run your app in any cloud. The third one is developer productivity. As the variety and the number of business critical applications expand, and time to market becomes critical ask. So we value the developer's time, and that's where the developer productivity is important. The fourth one is performance at scale. So simplify supporting a wide set of applications is not enough, as modern organizations demand predictable performance across their applications to satisfy raising customer expectations. And last but not the least is the security and compliance. So let's cover each of these in detail. Dynamic workload optimization. So think of a cases where customers or organizations today have a wide mix of transactional use cases, workloads with different needs, and these workloads need to be able to run simultaneously on the same database. The first one in dynamic workload optimization is the new colocation and intelligent sharding. So where is this useful? Applications that require both a large number of small tables and a few large tables, and you need to optimize and you need an optimal performance. So it provides the ability to manage different type of sizes of workloads without an excessive increase in resources. So it can handle varying and conflicting workloads without a corresponding variance in response times. So these core capabilities are becoming increasingly critical to modern applications, and these modern apps demonstrate a duality characteristics, needing both SQL and NoSQL, having many small tables and a few large tables, running in both public and private clouds, or all of the above. For any product, quality of service is very paramount, and here are the two key enhancements to YugabyteDB's quality of service capabilities. The first one is admission control for write-heavy workloads. YugabyteDB has extensive controls in place to slow down writes when flushes or compactions cannot keep up with the incoming write rate. The idea is to slow down incoming writes to the speed that the database can handle. So you can either use stop writes trigger or slow down writes trigger. So second feature we have introduced is transaction priorities. So you can prioritize transaction execution, which ensures the most important requests for your application are always served first. It allows application to set the priority of individual transactions. For example, imagine a financial service use case where you want to perform a deposit and a withdrawal at the same time. So in order for deposit to proceed first, you need to give higher priority to deposit transactions. So to achieve this, you need to set the transaction priorities for both these transactions. So this one is a step closer in providing a multi-tenant solution. Here you can reduce the complexity of environments by safely and predictably hosting large number of different tenants on a unified database. If the cluster is used by multiple tenants or services, it becomes essential to limit the resource usage of any of the tenant or service. So for example, you can limit the number of connections per tenant. So customer cloud native capability. So customers today need the flexibility to run applications anywhere across different clouds or containers, VMs or bare metal machines. So these new features provide organizations a greater flexibility and simplified operations, and their path to a cloud native business. So let's look at the YB Voyager. So based on our experience with YB deployments, organizations today want the freedom and the confidence to move their key applications and the underlying data to their choice of public, private or hybrid clouds. To satisfy this market need, we built YugabyteDB Voyager. Let's look at what it can do and why it's needed. So what is Voyager? It's a powerful data migration engine So Voyager accelerates the safe migration of applications from common legacy databases and popular public cloud databases to a distributed multi-cloud data fabric powered by YugabyteDB. So why do you need Voyager? Well, typically enterprises are not just looking to migrate one database, but hundreds of databases or workloads. They need to migrate these workloads to cloud native databases. And often they need to assess which databases are ready to migrate and which one needs workaround and so on. To remove these barriers, Voyager supports complete database migration lifecycle management that helps you simplify, guide, and automate your database migration to Yugabyte. It has well-defined steps to guide customers to migrate hundreds of databases. Every step has a well-defined status, and Voyager guides the next step in migration process. So to migrate huge number of databases, customers can try these migrations in parallel, lazily analyzing which databases are ready to migrate. So this lifecycle management is not something provided by tools like pgdump, pgrestore, or Ora2pg. And in addition to this, Voyager also understands the strengths of the distributed YB databases and utilizes those strengths really well in data loading. Basically, this easy to understand process helps you get the job done right for the first time. And Voyager already supports a wide range of legacy on-prem and cloud databases. Out of the gate, you can simplify your migration from legacy databases including Oracle, Postgres, MySQL, or from common public cloud databases including AWS RDS, Aurora, Google Cloud, SQL, and Azure DB for Postgres. And we have a dedicated session on Voyager with a demo, so please attend the session for more details. The third theme we have is developer productivity. With the new YugabyteDB Cloud Shell, developers can connect to YugabyteDB using any modern browser. The Cloud Shell delivers a seamless user experience without compromising on data security. Now you can accelerate your cloud onboarding with built-in guided tutorials to explore Postgres features supported by YugabyteDB. So you can even run sample apps in the programming language of your choice. YugabyteDB is the only distributed SQL database to support all three Postgres isolation levels. Read committed is the default isolation level for many databases including Postgres. And this is a big deal because for applications written with the isolation in mind, this isolation level in mind, and if they were forced to use another level, it either requires updates to the application or can have impact on performance. The main benefits of pessimistic locking are you can completely prevent conflicts from occurring, and this can also make it the best performing strategy in high concurrency environments where the chance of having conflicts is high. That's the first benefit. The second benefit of pessimistic locking is that you don't need application rewriting to include client-side retry handling. So it removes barriers and you can easily migrate to Yugabyte. CDC is getting a big boost. You can now integrate more seamlessly with event-driven data architectures. And this is using YugabyteDB's distributed change data capture. Two big additions. First, you are getting a new webhook sync. You can stream data updates to any HTTP endpoint using a new webhook sync. This is in addition to the existing integration with Kafka. So note that this is currently in beta, so it only supports HTTP and JSON output format. And second update is the new cloud storage S3 sync to stream to Snowflake and others. So multi-region in YugabyteDB managed. With a few clicks, you can easily configure and deploy a multi-region cluster in Yugabyte's fully managed DBaaS offering. So it provides the fastest path for developers and operators to configure a multi-region YugabyteDB managed environment while leaving the day-to-day operations and management to Yugabyte. So we already have API on the YB Anywhere side, and now we have introduced new API on the YB Managed. This is in tech preview right now. With this API, you can create and manage cluster programmatically. You can automate actions such as pause, resume cluster, scale cluster up, down based on a schedule, pull information and create usage reports, as well as integrate with the third-party tools. Overall, it reduces operation time and reduce cost by integrating with existing automation tools. With the support for cloud-based developer environments like Gitpod and GitHub code spaces, it provides developers access to fully automated integrated cloud native development workflows that can be pre-configured with YugabyteDB. Yugabyte continues to grow and expand our technical partnerships with the broader community to ensure strong joint solutions. Prisma is an ORM that helps app developers build faster and make fewer errors. That, combined with data platform like YugabyteDB, developers gain reliability and visibility. Django, Yugabyte is now officially listed in the on the Django website as a third-party database backend, and it's ready to use. And if you are a Go developer with GOM for YugabyteDB, you can easily manage database interactions and operations all in one place. The next one is performance at scale. We saw how we can simply supporting a wide set of applications, but this is not enough. As modern organizations demand predictable performance across their applications to satisfy rising customer expectations. So let's look at what are the various features help improve performance. The first one is new built-in performance advisor. It provides performance analytics and recommendations. So for users to improve performance across SQL queries, cluster topology, and schema design. It reduces the time and effort required for developers and YB managed administrators to diagnose query perf issues and quickly implement recommendations. System will keep looking and keep track of perf characters, especially from distributed SQL execution standpoint. Loading data into YB is much faster than the previous versions, and two key enhancements include new packaged storage format and faster copy command. And these improvements resulted in up to 4x faster bulk data loads into YugabyteDB. So what is this new packaged storage format? With the new compact storage format, all columns in a table are stored as a single key value pair in the underlying key value docdb storage. It reduces the space amplification by reducing the number of keys stored in the key value store, resulting in improved performance during insert, update, and delete operations. We also added support for materialized views. So queries can be much faster as the pre-computed data can return results almost instantly. So this is one step towards our commitment to become more and more PG compatible. YugabyteDB is often used in multi-region deployments, and customer can now control and configure their database backups based on their data locality. So this is not only useful for compliance requirements, but it helps reduce cloud data transfer costs by avoiding cross-regional data copying. YugabyteDB started by plugging PostgreSQL on top of the DocDB distributed storage and transaction layer, and then optimize it by pushing down the relevant operations to reduce the remote calls between the nodes. The 2.15 release introduced several push down and scanning improvements to deliver various performance boosts. And thanks to continuous and ongoing performance improvements in the database, YugabyteDB achieved a new TPCC benchmark milestone, scaling to 150K warehouses with an efficiency of 92.29%. And the last theme is security and compliance. So we completed SOC 2 Type 1 compliance, and we are committed to provide detailed info and assurance about security controls that relate to our SaaS system. You can use industry favorite HashiCorp Vault with YugabyteDB to enjoy a centralized cloud agnostic KMS with secure access to secrets. In addition to encryption keys, you can now also manage your TLS certificates using this integration. So we'll continue to add product innovations, and here is the list of some of the enhancements we have been working on. The first one is Voyager. So Voyager beta is going through a very good adoption, and it will be a release as GA product. That's one. Number two, with business continuity and DR, you can design and handle unplanned outages at the application or architectural level with a clear set of SLAs, automations, and runbooks. In addition to the existing AWS KMS and HashiCorp Vault support, you will be able to manage your encryption keys using Google Cloud KMS as well as Azure Key Vault. For many of our awaiting SaaS customers, we are working on adding multi-tenancy support. And the last one is pessimistic locking. So in addition to the existing pessimistic locking support for RAID committed, we are working on adding pessimistic locking for remaining serializable and remaining isolation levels like serializable and repeatable read. And thank you so much for attending this session. Please feel free to join our community Slack channel. Thank you.